Welcome to day 3 of 5 days to love. Our topic today is the dream love, and I must apologize to you all. I'm a little bit late on parade today. There's a story, I'll just go into it really quickly. So I needed a snack and I thought I don't want to turn up hangry, so I thought I'll have a quick snack. So I made a crumpet, and then at the last minute I decided to put on a red lip and it went really wrong. So I thought I'll just overwrite it, like do the Kylie Jenner thing. And I ended up looking like Miranda Sings from YouTube, and I thought I can't turn up for my people looking like this. So I took it off and good old Vaseline saved the day. So here we are, crisis averted. But nevertheless, how are you all? How are you all doing? Let me know. Okay, here's how we're going to start this. If you're in 5 days to love, then comment down below with I'm in. If you're not in 5 days to love, comment down below with not yet. I'd really love to get a read on how many people are already in 5 days to love and who isn't in yet, because if you're not in, you might not know what the hell I'm talking about. If you're just joining us, welcome to day 3, the dream love. This is a very exciting day. Grab a journal, grab a pen, make notes, grab a cup of tea if you need one, and we'll get started shortly. So yeah, let me know if you're in 5 days to love. If you're not, the link's in my bio. It's free, and what it's going to do is it's going to give you some journaling prompts that we're going through every day this week. And today's topic is the dream love. So we're really designing your next relationship. Like, what's that like? What is this person like? You know, who are they? How are you treated in this relationship? And how do you treat them? How do you treat them? Because this is not like, oh, what are they going to do for me? That's kind of like narcissism, right? It's how are we going to partner together? How are we going to treat each other? Can you feel the difference in that? The difference between that whole thing of what are they going to do for me, or what can I do for them, versus how are we going to partner together? Right? Very different energy, very different vibe. So, shall we crack on? What do I need to tell you today? In day 3, there's a couple journaling prompts, and the first one is describe your ideal partner and go into as much detail as you can. So what I'd really love you to do here is just go wild, get into it. Like, who is this person? What are their qualities, you know? Describe them to me. Describe them like they're a real person. So you can do that. Describe them. What qualities do they have? How would you describe them? And then from there, what's your relationship going to be like? Like, tell me, like, what's the relationship like? How do you treat each other? How do you treat them? How do they treat you? What memories are you going to create together? Right? What does this relationship actually look like? And then it's really important too to get clear on, like, what is this person not going to tolerate? What is this person not going to tolerate from you? This can be a tough question to ask, because you're like, does that mean I'm not perfect? None of us are. But it's really important to know, like, this person that's at this caliber, like, what are they not available for and what are they not going to tolerate? So by doing that, we start to get clear on, like, well, what are some of the things that I need to clear up, right? This thing that's going on in my life that we alluded to yesterday, and perhaps I just started with a recap, maybe I'll backtrack. This thing that we talked about yesterday of, like, what's actually kept us stuck, like, we need to clear that up. Like, we're not going to be able to call in this person if that thing is still going on with our crazy family, crazy job, money situation, whatever it is. We need to clear that up, because this person is going to be on a level where they're just not going to put up with that, and they're not going to rescue us, and they're not going to fix us. They're going to be emotionally healthy. Hopefully that's a trait that you mentioned. Maybe I'll go through some of my traits in a minute to let you know and give you some examples of what were the types of traits we're looking for. They're not going to tolerate any lower expressions of our traits, right? They're going to want the highest version of us, so we need to become that person, and we're going to talk about that in days 4 and 5. And then, what's your sex life like with this person, right? Like, what are you both into? What's your physical intimacy like? Describe that. Like, what do you want that to look like? Because the thing is, like, what I see a lot of people doing is they wonder why they're not happy in their relationship, but they're not being honest about who they are and what it is they actually need. You know? So I've said this a couple times before, but maybe I'll just repeat it. We can't be sure We can't get what it is that we want in our relationships if we're not first being honest about what that is. So if you're not being honest about who you are and what you need and what you desire, you're going to end up being with someone who's really nice. I should be happy. You're going out for nice dinners. You're going home and having some nice, sweet vanilla sex in missionary. And you're like, why do I hate my life? Because that's not what you want, right? Now, I'm just giving an example. Maybe that's you, maybe that's not you. But the point is, are you being honest about what it is you actually desire and who it is you really are? So this is why it's really important to get into the sexuality piece. I think when it comes to self-love, and I've talked about this before, self-love isn't all candles and affirmations and pastel-coloured journals, though all those things are great. I love journaling, I love candles, I love affirmations, but it's not only that. Like, self-love isn't something we can put in a box over here. I love this part of myself. I'm not even going to look at this part over here. And this part over here is a couple things. It's usually shadow stuff from the past, and it's often sexuality stuff. People get really upset when you start talking about sexuality. I'm not talking about like gay, straight, bi, though that's part of it. I'm talking about like, what is it you're actually into? What is it that actually turns you on? What is it you actually want from your partner in that way? And accept that about yourself. And whatever happens between two consenting people, whether you're in a relationship or not, if you're both consenting to it, whatever's happening, if you're both into it, it's fine. Nothing's wrong, nothing's bad, nothing's weird. It just is. There is absolutely nothing good. Nothing can progress from, nothing good can come from us repressing our sexuality, ever. Nothing good can come from it. And it's the like final frontier with most people. They're just not willing to look at it because they've got so much shame and so much judgment, and it's so loaded with what society thinks and what society says about people who do this, this and this, what good girls should do, what women, like all this stuff. It's so loaded. So if it wasn't wrong, and if it was all okay, then what would that be for you if you're really, really honest? There's an audio training in the dating drama empowerment method, which is one of my courses that's enrolling at the moment. And the training is called Why Is This Turning Me On? It's probably one of my favorite trainings that I've ever recorded. And it goes into this, like, what is it you're into? Let's look at that. Let's accept it. And through that acceptance, there's a number of things that happen. Not only is that deep self-love, genuine self-love, really accepting who you are, but in addition to that, your level of attraction goes through the roof. Have you ever been attracted to someone who's not that good looking? They're not really conventionally good looking, but they're fucking sexy. That sexiness, that sexual magnetism, that's an aura, right? That's an aura. It's an energy, and we feel it, and what we're feeling is their acceptance of themselves and their sexuality. We might not be able to pick up on what exactly it is they're into, but what we're feeling is their acceptance of their own sexuality and their own sexual expression. Now, I have a bit of a gift, and my gift is being able to tell what people are into by looking at them. It's a gift I perfected over the years, and I'm never wrong about it. It's quite a miraculous gift that I have. However, not everyone has that, right? I don't know, I have that gift. I can just pick up on the vibes. I'm like, I bet they're into this, and this. Never wrong about it. Very handy gift to have. But with all that being said, like, we're talking about relationships. We can't not talk about sexuality, or like I said, you're just not going to be satisfied in that area. And also, like, is it important to you? Is your sex life important to you? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. And just be honest about that. And it's all okay. It's all okay, whatever it is you need. Do you want something that's passionate? Do you want something that's tender? Do you want something that's like a generous lover? Like, what do you want? Like, just be honest about what that is. Yeah, that's the day 3 prompts. If you're in 5 Days to Love, you have all the prompts there. You have access to that for as long as you want it. You can go through at your leisure. What else do I want to say? Something came up today, and I think it's important to talk about, which is to say that I see 2 main reasons why people don't find their relationships, and it has to do with the relationship they have with their past. So I see one of 2 things happening. Either they are completely avoiding their past, they don't want to look at it, or they're focusing on their past too much. So the people that don't want to look at it, they're usually like the love and light brigade. Love and light, and they're the type of people that you meet at a spiritual event and they're saying namaste to you through gritted teeth. They're mad as hell. They're angry that the father left when they're 5, but they're not going to look at it. They're just going to draw cards and look at crystals, and they're not going to deal with their shadow. Those people, avoiding the past, it's too hard. Incidentally, I had a situation a couple of years ago where a magazine editor, not going to tell you who it is, but a magazine editor wanted to do a bit of a deal with me over my course, Break the Cycle. She wanted to feature it in her magazine. And I'm like, absolutely, that sounds amazing. So she wanted access to the course to do the course so that she could do a bit of a write-up on it. I'm like, sounds like a win-win to me. So I gave her access to the course and a few weeks went by and I'm like, hey, how are you getting on? She's like, oh, I can't do it. It's too hard. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, do you need support with it? Like, what's going on? Do we need to get on a call? Like, this was back in the day when I was just like giving it all away and I was just like, well, I'll help you, whatever. And she was like, no, I just can't do it. And then I just saw her over the coming months. She was touting like, you know, wear a rose quartz necklace to attract love. And I'm like, here's the thing. Here's the hard truth. Don't get me wrong, crystals are powerful. Wearing rose quartz isn't going to stop you dating morons. You've got to dig into why it is you're attracting morons. That's the work. Like, that's the work. Is understanding, like, how was this modeled to me when I was small? Specifically, how was this modeled to me when I was small? And it's not just like, oh, my dad wasn't there, therefore I'm choosing unavailable men. We've got to get down to the exact thing that happened. Because when we get down to the exact thing, it unlocks the emotion. And you know when you get down to the exact thing, either if you're being coached or if you're you're journaling on it or you're watching a video and you realize like, fuck, it's that thing that happened, because you know it's that thing. You know you've hit on the right moment that all of this stuff started from, because you start crying or shaking or you feel angry, like the emotion comes up, and you need to get to that exact point because it unlocks that emotion. Without that, it's just like talking. And talking isn't going to fix it. I'll get to that a little bit tomorrow when we start to talk about energy and feelings and beliefs. So they're the people over here that just want to like spiritually bypass the shit out of everything and wear rose quartz and not, don't get me wrong, I love a rose quartz. I mean, I've got a citrine ring here, I've got a quartz ring on, like I love my crystals, don't get me wrong, but like we've got to look at the relationship we had with our mother, with our father, what our family home was like. We've got to be able to dig into that. It's fucking essential. There's no bypassing it. People think they're like going past it, but they're not. They're just like spinning over here and they're not getting to where they need to be because they're not willing to go through the fire. But you've got to get through the fire to get to the other side and you'll be fine. So that's one side. The other side of it is they're fully aware of what went on in the past. But here's the thing. They've been in therapy for 5 years and they're talking about it. And it's like they're constantly talking about what happened and what went down in the past. So when you get into that spiral then, you're not solution focused, you're focused on the problem. And from the perspective of energy and lots of other things that go on in our subconscious mind, we are giving the past so much power. So can you imagine then what happens if you're in therapy for 5 years talking about how your dad left? What kind of beliefs and feelings is that going to drill into you? I was abandoned, he left, I wasn't loved. And it's just copy and pasting that emotion from your past into your present, into your future. And that is not going to get you where you want to be in relationships. It just isn't. I was on a group coaching call earlier this month. Was it last week? Let me have a quick look at my calendar real quick. Yeah, it was last Monday. We did a call on the father wound, and there's one of my beloved clients that's on every call, and we were talking, and I said, you know, he was talking about something, and I said, hey, is it okay if I like turn up the heat a little bit and really like ask you a direct question? I said, look, I'm noticing that you have a really great knowledge of your past. You're really, really self-aware. You've done a lot of work into what went on in your family. Like, I really credit that. I really honor that. But here's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like the bomb's already gone off. The bomb being what happened in your past, right? It's already gone off. The bomb's detonated and we're standing in the wreckage of it now. Are we going to stay here? And I might have said this a little bit nicer at the time, a little bit, you know, softer. But are we going to stand here in the wreckage of that bomb having gone off, going, the bomb's gone off, the bomb's gone off, the bomb's gone off, the bomb shouldn't have gone off, and it went off, and here's how it went off, and da da da. Or are we going to look at where we are and start clearing up and rebuilding? They're your two choices, right? We can talk about what led us to the wreckage of now, or we can rebuild. So can you see then from those two examples how it's really, really essential that we're not bypassing the past and avoiding it. It's also important to not over talk through the past and stay there and stay stuck there. So that's the two things I see most frequently with people. They either don't want to face it at all, or they're too focused on it and they're in therapy for so many years and they're just not getting through it. Another thing too is, like I said, and we'll get into this tomorrow, but like talking alone isn't going to fix it. Talking alone isn't going to fix it. I think that therapy is, here's a controversial statement that I probably shouldn't say, but I'm going to. I think therapy is limited. I think therapy is only going to get us so far, because there's only so much that can happen through talking. We've really got to get into the energy of it and the beliefs that were created because of it. I was going to cover this tomorrow, but I'm feeling like covering it now. So here we go. And this is a little bit more esoteric than you might be used to hearing from me. And I also recognize that the way I teach on this has changed, and I'll get into that in a minute. But here's a concept for you. Everything you want already exists. I'll back it up, I'll say that again. Everything you want already exists, including the relationship you want, including the partnership that you want. It already exists. Where does it exist? It exists in the quantum field. What the fuck is the quantum field? It's a different reality and dimension. How do we access it? We access it with a set of keys. What is the set of keys? It's not a physical set of keys like we would open a door with. We access it with our energy and with our vibration and with our frequency. Energy and frequency and vibration, what is that? It's the thoughts we think, it's the beliefs that we have, and it's the feelings that we feel. And what I was shown, it was yesterday, I was in the forest getting some messages, as you do, from you guys and your galactics. I was shown above me all these different possibilities. And the way it was shown to me was, when you line up your energy with the thing that you want, it's like that thing comes above you and it just drops in, it drops down. It goes from that other reality and it drops down into now. I've been learning about this for years, but I've never really had it quite lock in like that. And so knowing that, sometimes staying in talk-based therapy and talking again and again about the things in the past is not going to get you very far. So that is what I would say to you about that. Do you have any questions for me? Let me know. I've gone off on a bit of a little, I don't know, tangent about that, but it is what it is. Do you have any questions? Let me know if you do. So what else do I have to say about this? When it comes to this person, this partner that you want, when you're journaling on it, allow yourself to go really wild, allow yourself to free write, allow yourself to write it all out unfiltered, knowing that this person isn't going to necessarily be like all those things. This person isn't necessarily going to, we're not going to reduce a person to a checklist. That isn't what we're doing. What we're trying to do is get into the vibe and the energy of this person. Like, what kind of person are they? And we need to get clear on that for a number of reasons. We can't have the relationship with them if we're not clear on who they are. And also, often I see, particularly women, in their heads with it going, how will I know, how will I know, how will I know this person's right for me? You won't know, you'll feel. You won't know, you'll feel. And you might do that whole thing of, but my heart's led me astray in the past, Cheryl. And I'll say, I understand. I used to think that too. But also, no, it hasn't. Your heart hasn't led you astray. What led you astray was your patterns. It's not your heart. Trauma bonding is what led you astray, not your heart, not your feelings. So there is also a lot of work we need to do around this in terms of, like I said before, what specifically happened in the past, how can we release that? And that's exactly what I lead you through in the Dating Drama Empowerment Method. And what I love about the method is step one is, what's the pattern? Where are you now presently? What's playing out again and again? Where did it come from? Is step two, which is let's go back to the past. Where did it come from? When did this start? When did it start being modeled? What's that exact moment? And then step three is, how do we heal it? How do we move you forward? So where are you in the present? Where did it come from? The past. Where are you going? The future. So that's how we play with these different timelines and realities in order to get you really, really clear on how to get out of this. And there's also a bunch of bonus modules in there and bonus trainings on how to release trauma from the physical body, how to reframe your beliefs, how to build up practices like breath work to actually get these stuck emotions out of your body. It's not just talking about it, it's a very physical thing. It stays in our systems, in our body, in ourselves until we release it. And we do that through body work. We don't do that from talking only, right? Which incidentally is not really why you need me coaching one-to-one, but it is why you need some kind of guidance and some kind of body of work. And if you like the way I teach on this, then the dating drama empowerment method might be for you. And this is the way I teach my courses too. It's not for everyone. If you want a teacher who's really linear, I'm probably not for you. If you like the way that I have the points and see offshoots of the points, and I'm able to give you wisdom around the points, then come back to the point and like explain it. If you like that and you get a lot from it, then I might be one of the guides for you, right? So what was my point with that? Let's go in somewhere with that. Maybe I've said everything I needed to say. Will there be a replay? Yeah, this is on Instagram Live. So once I've finished the live, yeah, it'll be here. And it'll also be in 5 Days to Love, which is the links to my bio for that. So yeah, I think that's everything I need to say. Thanks so much for being here, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.